Hi, I'm Brian Levy. I'm a partner at Manchester Living and the host of the Manchester Living podcast. The purpose of the podcast is to help people navigate the complex maze of elder care. There is a lexicon of elder care terms on our website at manchesterlivingpodcast.com. Today's new and noteworthy. When I do research for the show, I often get myself wrapped up in rabbit holes and start thinking I have certain elements of a subject that we're getting ready to discuss. And of course, with this topic of Parkinson's that we're getting ready to talk about, it happened again. And so I got on WebMD and I started going down that rabbit hole. And I came across this really funny clip that I thought would be a great icebreaker. So let's roll the tape.
Oh, sure, that'd be great. The thing is, Hitler really ruined that mustache for everybody. Because it's an interesting mustache, and now nobody could wear it, Oh, thanks. Oh, Jesus Christ! What the hell?
What?
Did you shake that up on purpose?
Parkinson's.
There you go. Laughter and positive attitude are key ingredients to a happier, healthy life, ill or otherwise. Today we are talking about Parkinson's, and Parkinson's is a progressive disease of the nervous system. Signs and symptoms may include tremors, rigid muscles, impaired posture and balance, and change in speech. Causes, some could be genetic and also environmental triggers such as toxins, herbicides, and pesticides. My guest today, Leisha Phipps, Program Director at Dallas Area Parkinsons Society, or DAPS. Beth Jacobs, retired pharmacist, still licensed, DAPS member, and Parkinson's patient. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm really excited about today's show. I've never interviewed or had somebody on the show with a diagnosis of what we're covering. So this is new to me. So thank you so much for being the guinea pig, if you will. Let's jump in. Leisha, what is Parkinson's?
Well, I think you summed it up well. It is a neurological condition, and there are millions of people that have Parkinson's disease. Sadly, a lot of people experience symptoms for years and they are not diagnosed correctly. We really stress the importance of a movement disorder expert so that folks can really get the specialized treatment that they need, as there are a lot of advanced treatments that are available. Carbidopa-levodopa is still the primary medication that is used for people with Parkinson's, and that's been around since the late 1960s.
Back up to something you just said, movement specialist.
Yes. A movement disorder specialist or a movement expert is a neurologist, but they have specialized experience when it comes to issues, neurological diseases such as Parkinson's disease.
Got it. Okay. And let's talk about DAPS for a second. What is DAPS and how do you engage with the community?
Sure. So DAPS is a nonprofit organization. We've actually been in Dallas since 1978. And so what we do is we provide free services to the entire Dallas area. So for example, right now, not only are we offering our exercise and our speech and our care partner and our educational services online via Zoom, but we have transitioned back into all of our locations. So we are in McKinney, we're in Plano, several Dallas locations, Duncanville, Garland. So what we feel like we do best is we really want to improve the lives of all people that are impacted by PD. And we do that by coming right into folks back into your backyard so that folks can access all those great services.
Great. Beth, when did you first know something was not right and how were you diagnosed?
Initially, I had a bit of a claw hand, and then I was also working out in a gym, and the trainer noticed that my left side was not as strong as my right side, and she encouraged me to use more weight, which I couldn't with my arm more. So eventually I went to a neurologist to evaluate whether it had a stroke or, I thought maybe I had a minor stroke or something else was wrong. So they did additional testing. Once it was confirmed, I was started on medication.
What stage are you in the illness?
I'm pretty much in the second phase. I'm on medication. I have to work really hard at working out and taking my medication. I do speech therapy. There's a lot of areas that help me to be more normal, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. What side effects are you experiencing, and what adjustments or accommodations have you made to your daily routine?
It's a good question. I experience side effects like a very common side effect with Parkinson's is orthostatic hypotension with the medications. I mean, so that means when you come from a sitting to a standing position, sometimes you get a little lightheaded. So you have to be very careful that once you stand up, you don't start moving too fast. But that's the second side effect is Parkinson's or the medication. You don't move very fast. I mean, it just kind of slows you down.
Interesting. So right when you said that, it made me realize some of the people that I work with have Parkinson's in addition to something like dementia. So you're conscious of those things when you stand up and you may be lightheaded, et cetera. But when you have dementia on top of Parkinson's, the complications are probably tenfold because you can't think the same way. So you're more conscious of it.
Right. One of the things that we learn in the speech therapy is to be intentional, because you go from your parasympathetic to your sympathetic nervous system. And when it helps with you if you're swallowing as you move into the later phases of Parkinson's. A lot of people have difficulty swallowing with balance. Balance is a big problem.
Sure. What resources from DAPS have you utilized?
Pretty much everything.
So what treatments do you suggest that have worked for you both medically and otherwise?
Well, I think what's really most important is that you know when your on and off times are and when to take your medication and how to take your medication.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have done all my life, and and I have to practice what I preach. So, taking your medication with a full glass of water on an empty stomach if you're on the carbidopa levodopa. If you're in the extended release, you have to take it differently. And then some of the other medications to be taken with food. Most importantly is taking them on time, because once you get behind and your Parkinson's symptoms start coming on, like for me, I have a lot of stiffness, and then if I'm nervous, I get big tremors. So if I take it ahead of time as opposed to after, I have better effects.
Have you ever used any non-traditional treatments such as CBD?
No, I haven't actually tried that. I mean, I've taken it occasionally for sleep, and it helps really well because your sleep is definitely interrupted with Parkinson's. I'm sure as it is with any aging process,
right,
but especially with Parkinson's, it is.
So anyone that's been diagnosed with Parkinson's needs both emotional and physical support. What are you doing for yourself?
Well, we have a group of women in some of my exercise classes, and we all have the same philosophy that exercise is so important, and feeling connected is important, and we laugh. So we've started a women's support group, and that's been really great. We go and everybody's at different levels, and we talk about what problems we're having, what works, what doesn't work. And again, you have 100 people with Parkinson's, you're going to have 100 different symptoms presenting themselves.
They're not all the same, right?
Right. And I mean, it's just not like a stereotype that you can say, well, everybody has the tremor. That's just one segment of it.
Sure. Can you share a funny story that's come out of the support group?
Out of the support group? Well, one time the girl was talking about how her husband was very frustrated with her because it took her so long to get out of the car. And I said, and my husband turned to her and he goes, "Oh my gosh, that is a huge problem," because you get somewhere and it's just really hard to manipulate your body to move that quickly.
So just sharing commonalities. It's nice to know someone else is going through the same thing you are.
That's correct.
That's great.
And also, you don't realize that there's other symptoms, for example, like smell. You lose your sense of smell when you have Parkinson's. I had no idea. The doctor never mentioned that. And then we had COVID, and that took away smell. And it's like, my smell's been gone for a long time.
Old hat, right.
Yeah. But that and like the curling of your toes is a real common problem, and you don't realize that until you start talking to people, and they go, "Oh yeah, I have that problem too." So
So
that's where the support groups work. You talk to other people, and you find out what symptoms they have, and what they've done that has worked and what hasn't worked. And we're all wired differently. So what might work for me might not work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's great. So what advice can you give someone who's been recently diagnosed with Parkinson's?
To own it and go to, yeah, I really feel like DAPS has helped me so much because of the programming that they have. It's so broad and it hits every single topic, and to make sure they exercise. Exercise is better than any medicine you can take because it's helped me. I was never this flexible. And so when I'm on times, I really feel great.
Yeah.
When I'm off, I'm sure that the exercise helps that as well.
Do you do yoga?
I do yoga. I do it twice a week.
All right. Tough question. When someone finds out that you've been diagnosed with Parkinson's, what do you want them to say? What's comfortable to you?
It's so hard to answer that because a lot of people say, I'm sorry. And it's like, they shouldn't say that. It's like, because it's you can't help it. It's just like having hypertension.
Right.
I mean, you
It's
can't
like,
help that.
That's your natural reaction when someone says, oh, I lost my grandmother last week. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well,
What? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so hard to say because saying I'm sorry is like, it doesn't help. I mean, it's like,
Right.
maybe what can I do to help you? Is there anything?
So be empathetic and solicitous to say, I was unaware. What can I do for you as your friend?
Right. And, a lot of times we were talking before and I said, another thing that they'll say is, you don't look like you have Parkinson's. And
I said, well, I've had the Parkinson's tattoo removed from my forehead.
I didn't want to advertise it because, I don't know why. I mean, now that I've gotten used to having Parkinson's, I've been retired for 3 years. As a professional, I did not want people to know. Mm-hmm. But now I'm okay with it. I mean,
you own it.
I own it.
So you mentioned earlier, people that are diagnosed typically want to keep it in and hide it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, is it shame? Is it embarrassment? Is it because they haven't come to grips with the fact that they have a debilitating disease? Why is that?
I'm not really sure. I guess, as more celebrities come out with it, I mean, it's not.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier. I don't know that it's that big of a deal as it would be. I mean, looking back, I don't know why.
Interesting. Leisha, what haven't I asked you that I should?
I think one component to Parkinson's disease is the care partners. And by care partners, we refer to anyone from a spouse to an adult child of someone with PD. It could be a neighbor, it could be a family friend. It could be anyone, but someone who is an integral part of that person's life and even part of their treatment. We at DAPS, we recognize that that's a big part of our community. And so we actually offer several support groups that are specifically for care partners to help them learn some of the coping skills to be able to adjust and communicate well with their loved one so that they can be helpful. And of course, that's what a care partner wants to do. They want to help. And sometimes that road changes a little bit, whether the disease progresses or not. That's something that's kind of hard to navigate. But when you're in a group with other care partners who are able to share, this is what we've experienced, this is what's been helpful, this is not helpful, it really takes away some of the isolation. And I feel like that's another component to Parkinson's is isolation. And so at DAPS, we feel like that is one of the key components that we provide is making sure people know that you are not alone, that we're going to offer you a community wherever you live in this area. We want you to know that you can connect with people that will validate who you are, where you are, and no one is going to be surprised if you do have an off episode in the middle of a exercise class, or
Right.
if you fall. Everyone will say, "Okay, let's move
We've
on."
got this. And
we
is
got
a
this.
care partner could be someone that you set them up with, someone in the community, a friend, family, anyone?
Absolutely. It could be anyone. Typically, it's someone that they live with.
Mm-hmm.
And so it could be, as I said, a spouse. It could be an adult child who actually has a parent that's moved in with them. Could be a neighbor, just could be a close family friend who's the primary person that might actually take someone to and from a class. But as Beth said, there are so many different stages of Parkinson's. There are lots of people who live very, very full lives with Parkinson's who are still able to drive for many, many years. I think, as you mentioned earlier, there's sometimes a stigma when someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's. My life is completely ended, and
Right.
everything I do now, I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's really not the case.
Living proof right here.
Living proof.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What haven't I asked you that I should?
Well, I'd like to add on to what
Please.
Leisha was talking about. With all of the community within our Parkinson's group, there are so many dynamic people, and there are varying degrees. The gym that I work at, it's called Tribe Wellness because we are a tribe of Parkinson's patients.
Tribe wellness. Nice.
The DAPS classes I go to, we have each other's cell phone numbers. If somebody doesn't show up, we're texting each other going, where are you? Yesterday, I had 2 people call me saying, I'm not making it to class today and I can't reach the instructor. So we have such a community of support. And it means so much because we look out after each other, and even when you go to programs, you have someone to sit with and to talk to, and they meet somebody new, and we always welcome everybody in.
It's like a special club.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
the sense of community that made me grow. And I didn't even mention the speech therapy through Samantha does such a great job with the Parkinson Voice Project. Again, such a sense of community. They get the choir and they sing. Like this year, they're doing their sing out or program, and they're going to have close to 300 people with Parkinson's disease singing in this choir.
Wow.
So, it's great to have that and the support, and it's all through DAPS. That's where it all started. I remember driving down Walnut Hill and seeing the church saying Parkinson Tai Chi classes or boxing. And I just went, gosh, I called up and they were during the day. Well, I worked during the day. I couldn't go. But as soon as I retired, boy, I went and I got better.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
So I don't know. That's.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies, we're going to move on to the nugget portion of the show. I saw this visual on the interwebs a couple weeks ago, and I clipped it, and I wanted to share it with you because it resonates. So if you show it on the screen, this little kid's on the phone. He says, geez, Grandma, it's not that hard. Go into the settings, select Wi-Fi, select it. Tap with your finger. Oh, my God, any finger. This is a great example of adult children and grandchildren navigating care for their adult parents. Be patient. They taught us how to use a spoon. Just be patient. That's my message for the day. All right, let's move on to the lightning round. This is a time for the viewers to get to know you guys personally. So we're going to start with Leisha, and then we'll go back and forth. Leisha, where were you born and raised?
Dallas.
Cleveland.
College and degree.
Baylor for in social work, and then UTA for my master's.
University of Arizona for my pharmacy degree.
Wonderful. Leisha, can you write in cursive?
Yes, I can actually calligraphy.
I'm impressed.
I can, but not very pretty.
Understood. Favorite concert, Leisha?
Sting.
Favorite concert?
Probably Jimmy Buffett.
Favorite concert venue?
Any venue with Sting.
Anywhere with Sting.
Anywhere with
Favorite
Sting.
concert venue?
I would say Red Rocks in Colorado.
Good choice. Cook or Uber Eats?
Uber Eats.
Cook.
Cook. All right. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone.
Choice. Fiction or nonfiction?
Both.
All right. Fiction or
I would
nonfiction?
say both.
Text or call?
Both.
Wow. Beth?
Call.
All right. Leisha, favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Favorite holiday?
4th of July.
Oh, aren't you patriotic? Thank you guys for being here. If the viewers want to reach you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you? Leisha, do you want to go first?
Sure. DAPS.org. Very easy, DAPS.org. All of our services are provided there, and we can be reached, of course, via email at daps@daps.org or a phone number 972-620-7600.
Wonderful. And if anyone wants to reach Beth, they can get a hold of you through Leisha as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for watching Manchester Living Podcast. We can be found on Facebook, the World Wide Web, YouTube, iTunes, and anywhere else that you can dial us up. Thanks for watching today. If there's anything I can do for you, don't go back to Google. Just give me a call.